Good day, everyone. In the news now is an article that covers President Cyril Ramaphosa's announcement of a level 3 lockdown. Now, I don't really bother myself with the details of these, but there's something interesting happening. In Business Insider South Africa, an article was put out that is showing the discrepancies in what is happening here and how reasoning doesn't make sense. In fact, they have this huge picture of the global with a massive mask over it, and I find the narrative interesting. And maybe some of the mainstream media is starting to ask questions, and maybe it's difficult for them to justify not speaking out about this. And the headline for this article is Level 3 Children Under 6 Must Wear Masks, Banks and Wine Farms Get a Pass. In other words, they get a pass on the regulations. President Cyril Ramaphosa announced an extended curfew, and I really want to cover this article in short time, and restrictions on bottle stores in an address on Tuesday night. But rules gazetted soon after contained more changes from level 2. And this is important. Adjusted level 3 no longer has a mask exception for children under the age of 6, which means that all my kids have to wear masks. Banks no longer have to provide sanitizer at ATMs. And wineries, microbreweries and distilleries are not included on the weekend alcohol sales ban. Interesting, isn't it? Small children will have to wear masks when in public from Wednesday, under the adjusted level 3 regulations published by Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister, the COGTA Minister in DZ. President Cyril Ramaphosa earlier announced changes in lockdown rules to ban alcohol sales over weekends and on Fridays, and to move the nightly curfew earlier by 1 hour. So it's 10 o'clock at night now, which is utter rubbish. Eksteer my nie daaraan nie. But the published rules contain another change, most notably the lack of a waiver for young children to wear masks. That exclusion had been explicit under level 2 rules that came into effect at the end of May, which said that the wearing of a face mask is mandatory for every person when in a public place, excluding a child under the age of 6 years. And then they actually give an extraction of where it said that. The new legislation on face masks is identical other than dropping the second part of that sentence, so that it now reads, the wearing of a face mask is mandatory for every person when in a public place, and any person who fails to comply with a verbal instruction by an enforcement officer to wear a face mask commits an offence and is, on conviction, liable to a fine or a period of imprisonment not exceeding 6 months, or to both such fine and imprisonment. Now, this is important, and then they give the new regulations in this article. You will find the link in the description below this video. Please go and read it, especially so you can read the new regulations. As I've said before, as Becky Cele said, it's a criminal offence not to wear a mask. Is not true. If asked to wear a mask by a law enforcement officer and you don't do it, then you get criminalized for not listening to the officer. So it cannot be an offense not wearing the mask. Mini Zuma spokesperson did not immediately respond when asked if the exclusion had been dropped in error and whether the change will be enforced. So, under the age of 6, it means babies now have to wear face masks. Listen to what this means. Okay? In September 2020, government guidelines for childcare centers held that children under 2 should not be made to wear face masks, but that those between 2 and 5 should be encouraged to do so. Encouraged to. But the thing is, in this regulation now, the wearing of a face mask is mandatory for every person when in a public place. And any person who fails to comply with a verbal instruction by an enforcement officer to wear a face mask commits an offence. Which means there is no age anymore. Even a newborn baby now has to wear a face mask in public. Okay? And you should really think about this. We should take them to task over this. Rip them as we should. Use every platform on social media to make this widely known. You need to understand. With this regulation, they are saying a newborn baby, when in public, should wear a face mask. Think about that, people. And I don't want to labor this article anymore, except that there are exemptions now for banks to clean ATMs. And of course that wineries, wine farms, microbreweries and micro distillers are specifically excluded, and many continue to operate in offering wine tastings and other brew tastings and the selling of wine and other brews to the public for off-site consumption as long as they adhere to curfew and social distancing requirements. Which means they're getting funding from these people. There are back-ended deals happening, and you will see this come to the fore as we continue in this fight. Thank you very much for supporting this channel and for watching this video. Please subscribe if you have not yet and click the bell icon to receive notifications for the video. And thank you to everyone that's made small contributions to keep this channel going. You can go to the Desk Capdeck bank account in the description below this video to make a small contribution. We will be having weekly meetings still. I will set out a date for that. It will be announced later today or tomorrow, and you can look forward to those. Thank you very much. Till the next video.